And welcome back. It's now time for our cooking segment. And this morning we have Stephanie McGrew from Lone Star Physiques. And today we're going to make white chocolate raspberry protein muffin bites. And they look delicious and they sound amazing. And I can't wait to learn how to make them. How are you doing today?
I'm doing good. How are you?
I'm doing great. So we all love muffins. Now this has just a little healthy kick to it because we're adding some protein to it. So
yes.
All right.
A lot of the recipes that I'll do provide protein because it's a good alternative because a lot of baked goods have, flour, and it's not as healthy if you use flour. So there's a lot of recipes you can use with using your protein powder instead.
Interesting. All right. So what do we need to do to make these?
The first thing you need is again, I use a lot of Advocare stuff. You can use a full pack of that or like a heaping scoop of whatever protein that you personally have. And that's where it gets tricky because certain protein doesn't bake the same, so you have to add a little bit more or take a little bit out depending on how thick it is.
Okay.
The next thing you're going to use is the sugar-free white chocolate Jell-O. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
And you can't find it at Walmart, sadly, so you do have to go to Hy-Vee to get this one.
Okay.
And so I do have a little scale that I just bought. And so you use about 8 grams of that.
And this is where you're getting your white chocolate from, right? Okay.
Yep.
Now, if you wanted to, could you use like white chocolate bar type things, like the baker bars?
You could, but it wouldn't have the same consistency.
Gotcha. All right. Yeah. Good to know. Good to know. So what's our next step?
The next one is egg whites. And you're going to use about 46 grams of egg whites, which really isn't a whole lot. But it's pretty much just there to kind of make it moist so you can mix it together.
Now, I know a lot of people are transitioning or have used egg whites to, do the healthy cooking and stuff. Kind of explain what the difference is between the egg whites and just using the whole entire egg. Obviously, I know you take the yolk out, but...
Well, using the whole egg has more fat in it.
Okay.
And so with the egg whites, you're just taking out the fatty portion of the egg.
Gotcha.
So it's a little bit leaner. I personally like it. It tastes a little bit better.
Okay.
And so, and it's usually about preference as well. Okay. Because some people like the whole egg. I'll usually mix like 3 parts egg white and then 1 egg, like 1 full egg, so you kind of get the yolk to kind of make it a little thicker.
And even Troy says he started using that now too.
Yeah, mixing them with when I'm making scrambled eggs. Tastes really good.
All right, what's our next step?
Recommend it.
The next one is Greek yogurt, and I just get the no-fat Greek yogurt, and you're going to use about 50 grams of that.
Okay.
And again, I use my scale to measure all that out, and you just dollop it in there.
Okay.
And so then the next one is just strawberries. And you can use any fresh strawberries.
You mean raspberries?
Or, yeah, raspberries.
Can you use strawberries for it?
You could use strawberries.
Yeah. That changes the name of the dish.
Exactly.
So, all right, great.
So then you're just going to use about 40 grams, which is, in essence, just a handful.
Okay. Now, I'm sorry, because we did interrupt you when you were talking about that. Could you use frozen kind, or do you want to use fresh?
It's a preference. I like the fresh because it's a little bit more crisp whenever, and to me, it tastes better.
Okay. All right.
So then and then I use 1 tablespoon of honey. You can use another kind of sweetener, but the key is to not use too much because then it's just like a sugary dish, and that defeats the purpose of being healthy.
So you're just adding a little sweetness to it.
Yep, pretty much. And the key is you do want to mix it, and you want to also mush up the raspberries as you're mixing it, so that way you don't have like a whole raspberry in just one muffin.
Okay.
And then it's going to get, as you see, it'll get thicker, and you just want to keep mixing until it's thick, until it's like a more pasty substance.
Okay.
And then that's whenever, I like to buy these silicone muffin because they just are so much cleaner and I don't know.
And I hear they're a lot easier to use as well. They don't stick to it like the little paper ones or the aluminum ones. And then all you do is just go ahead and...
Yep, and I use like an ice cream scoop, and I just scoop, or a heaping tablespoon. That way you don't want it to overflow. You just want it to halfway fill up the muffin.
Okay, and then how long do you bake them for?
You're going to put it in the oven at 350 degrees, and you're going to bake it from 16 to 20 minutes. You want to watch it because it'll rise and kind of get stiff, and that's where you can do the toothpick test to make sure that it's solid all the way through.
Okay, so what we'll do is we'll go ahead and finish that, put them in the oven, and then when we come out, we'll show off the final product. Sound good?
Sounds good.
All right.
And welcome back. If you're just joining us, we just made a white chocolate raspberry protein muffin courtesy of Stephanie McGrew from Lone Star Physiques, and she's going to really quickly just walk us through the steps because we did forget one little step towards the end, but it's not a big deal.
Yeah,
so
the most important. Yeah. So what we have is the protein, and then you're going to use the sugar-free white chocolate pudding.
Okay.
And then you're going to use egg whites, then Greek yogurt, then raspberries or any other or fruit. I'm not with it today. And then a tablespoon of honey. And then the most important one is the Quest bar. So what you're going to do is you can use any, but since it's a white chocolate raspberry, I use the white chocolate raspberry Quest bar. And you cut it into half. And you're going to cut it into little squares, and then you place a square in the center of each muffin.
And then you bake it in the oven.
You bake it in the oven.
For about, you said about
16 to 20 depending on the oven.
Yeah. And then, of course, towards the end, you want to go ahead and put a little topper on it.
Yes. So what I like to use with the rest of my Greek yogurt is add some honey to it, and you just pretty much mix it up and add it as like a frosting for the top.
Oh, fun.
Or you can use any kind of yogurt just to make it, and I prefer Greek yogurt just to keep it a little bit more healthy. And you want to add it right before you eat it because it's moist, so it'll kind of make the muffin soggy.
Okay. So do you want to go ahead and put some on, and we'll go ahead and try it?
Of course.
In the meantime, if you're interested in this recipe, what we'll do is we'll post it on our website at heartlandconnection.com. Just click on the Good Morning Heartland tab at the top of the homepage. Thank you so much for joining us this morning. We hope you have a fabulous weekend. Stay safe out there with the heat, and we'll see you right back here on Monday morning at 5:30 a.m.